American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We make up America, it's amazing America. Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Sergeant Frank.
And I'm the bird dog.
And welcome to this week's Sergeant Frank Show.
Sergeant Frank Show?
You better believe it. And we have an exciting guest.
Me.
And me. So we wanted to do a, what do they call it, an after action report of our outdoor Crusader adventure.
Boy, was it ever an adventure.
It's always an adventure with these two characters. And then we added more to the mix. We added a little girl.
She was awesome.
Right? And a little boy and her grandmother.
Yep, she was awesome.
A little boy.
He was awesome.
A bigger boy.
He was awesome.
And then another boy.
Yep, they were all awesome.
So we had, we didn't really plan this. And, you know, sometimes the bird dog is like, you know, script and schedule and time and this. And then Sergeant Frank comes in, it's like, blah, everything's all over the place.
He's good at doing that.
But you know what? In the end, it all worked out. And sometimes in life, you got to be flexible. And we learned that in law enforcement. You know, you think you're going to an alarm call, and it's a burglary in progress, you know. And, you know, as police officers, we had to be prepared for anything. And we want our kids to be in that same situation because no matter what, sometimes in life, it's going to throw some curves at you.
So needless to say, our youth turkey hunt went well. It ended well.
Absolutely. I think it all
it went well all the way around. You know, that's the thing with hunting is people think you're just going to go out there, sit in a blind or sit in a stand, sit by a tree or whatever, and then the turkey's going to come right out, boom, and you're, you know, back for lunch.
Well, all the shows I watch, that's what happens.
I know. Why is that? Maybe we should start making shows.
Maybe.
Then it'd be quicker.
Maybe. But, you know, the first hunter, Michaela, absolutely amazing young lady, great personality. We're going to send you guys some cool pictures. I don't think I sent them to you yet, but the host or the guide that we had come down from Alabama, Eddie Salter, she was actually at a Rural King and she found a big display with Eddie's face on it. So I got to send you that picture.
Oh, really?
She's doing this big pose. It was pretty funny.
No kidding. So,
you know, they got there. They had a little trouble traveling. They had some family issues with the family, and they had to take care of that first before they got on the road. So they got there. They were supposed to come in that night. They came in the next morning. That's fine. And like I said, you got to be flexible. And we set up Michaela so she could shoot her gun. And then we switched to another gun. She shot that gun. Came to Bird Dog's house. We shot that gun. We shot that same gun a few more times. And, you know, it's important that when you're getting ready for a hunt or any activity with your kids, you want to try to do as much preparation as possible. So, you know, I think there could have been a little bit more preparation, but, you know, we always want more of that. I don't care if we're taking the bird dog hunt. We want to even do more preparation. So
Michaela was excited. Oh my God! You know, for an 8-year-old, I was kind of impressed. I was like, man, this girl is into it.
Well, I think she hunts with her dad and brother, and you know, she's into the woods quite a bit. So that was exciting. And she got there, and we got set up, and met with Mr. Salter, and got all ready for that. And you know, you could tell she was definitely excited. We the other guide, Jake, amazing. The place is, I hate to say it again.
Amazing.
I
said it.
Luckily, I didn't say it another time, but it was just, it's so beautiful. It's very well managed, you know, for all their wildlife that they do. They also have a working cattle ranch there, and they do some amazing wedding venues too. So the
crazy thing is it's mainly a wedding venue.
Right.
It's the Santa Fe River Ranch. And if you haven't ever seen it, you can look them up online. It's the most beautiful place to have a wedding. And the whole ranch is just gorgeous. It's like a plant, you know, like what you think an old plantation would look like.
Right.
And even the house, you know, that the parents live in, they made it look like an old plantation house,
Beautiful.
Which is really awesome.
So, I mean, that in itself was an experience. We get out to the area, and Jake knows. I mean, he knows where the birds are. Obviously, he knows where all the animals are there.
It's funny, his name was Jake, and we were out there in the middle of a bunch of
Jake
Jakes.
and gobblers, yeah. And the setup was great. You know, we got set up really nice, and Eddie set up in a really good spot to call in the birds. And the first night, we got, I don't know how many.
I don't think I've ever seen that many turkeys in one spot.
There had to be at least 10 strutters, which is longbeards, and I don't know how many jakes or younger male turkeys.
Of those.
It was wall-to-wall turkeys, and I don't even know how many hens there were. I mean, there was, but definitely it was a higher ratio of male turkeys to female hens in that situation. So we sat out there, and man, the first batch of longbeards, possible shooters came in, and
It was 3 of them together, and they were all clucking like crazy.
now you were in that. I was in the other one. What happened in that scenario? Well, you were right there with Michaela and Nancy.
Oh, we were getting ready, and of course Nancy was telling her, get ready, get ready. I'm like, hold on, we got to go slow, trying to coach her up a little bit. And the gobblers came in. There was 3 of them, and Eddie, oh man, Eddie was awesome. He had those suckers coming right at us. It was crazy, and they got, I'd say, probably within 25, 30 yards. Now, a normal person could probably take that shot and hit this turkey. But Michaela, using the 20 gauge, I wasn't quite sure. I wanted them to come in closer. And I don't know if we did something to spook them or what happened, because Michaela was awesome, don't get me wrong, but she liked to move around a lot. And she didn't, I don't think she quite got the concept of you have to move like this, you know what I mean? And she'd be like, And there was one point, it was so funny. I don't know if Nancy made her mad or what, but she's like, you can't move. And she starts waving at the turkeys. This is later on, though. It was, oh man, I died laughing. It was crazy. But talking about being in the blind with these 2 women, oh my God, it was so much fun. But these gobblers come in, and they're sitting there, and Eddie's, doing his thing, and they're just gobbling like crazy. And it's really cool is all 3 of them at the same time, their necks go down. It's like, oh, I don't know how I'm not an Eddie Salter. I can't make that noise, but
you do have a big beard. So.
But so I'm talking to Michaela, and I'm like, okay, so get ready. She's got her hand on the gun. She's ready to go. We pulled back the hammer. It was a single shot 20 gauge for the youngins. And she looks at me, she goes, I don't want to shoot. I'm like, okay, you don't want to shoot? She goes, no, I don't want to shoot. I'm like, well, right now is not a good time to shoot, but if they come in closer, there's a bug on me. If they come in closer, I'll tell you that it's good to shoot if you want to shoot one. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she saw the turkey up close and maybe felt like she didn't want to hurt it. Who knows? But after a bit, they ran back off because we couldn't get them any closer anyway. So she would have never had a shot on the gobblers anyway, because we couldn't get them in close enough for her to shoot. But afterwards, I was like, so why didn't you want to shoot? She goes, I don't know, I just didn't want to. I'm like, okay. And then I don't know if she thought I would be mad. Did you get it?
I did, but I didn't kill it.
I don't know if she thought I was going to be mad at her. So I told her, I was like, Michaela, it doesn't matter if you shoot or not. If you don't want to shoot, you don't have to shoot, So it was kind of fun. And then after that, we had even more fun because all we did was joke with each other. And her grandmother, Nancy, was back behind her filming us playing with each other. I think she texted you one time and said, I got 2 6-year-olds over here playing with each other.
Yeah.
So we had a great time with her. We saw so many turkeys. But we did get some jakes to come in, and they came in like right. Eddie got them all the way in, and they were very
probably
easily.
10 to 12 yards,
we could have taken one of those, but they want you to take gobblers at this farm, and I don't blame them.
He means like a longbeard.
Yeah, a longbeard. Just in case y'all don't know the difference, there's a hen that has no beard whatsoever. That's the females, and the jakes, they got these little nubs that come out of their chest, and it's a short beard, and those are like the teenager type.
You're right. Then you got Super Jakes.
Yeah, then you got the Super Jakes got a little bit longer
and usually a lot bigger.
Now the Gobblers, they got that, big
long beard.
10, 11-inch beard.
Long beard or a strutter. We heard a lot of different terminology. We're not exactly total turkey fanatics, so we're still learning as we go. And he was saying, with kids and hunting, you got to be flexible. And the last thing I wanted to do was make this a bad experience. I didn't want to push Michaela to do anything. And she had shot that gun a lot of times too, so she might have been a little bit tender too. And I mean, shooting a shotgun isn't, like shooting a 22 or something. So it's got a little bit of kick to it. So that could have been another factor. But you know what? The experience of seeing those birds, hearing the calling going down, the fellowship of me and the bird dog, or spending that time with her grandmother. I mean, those are all things that brings families together, which is really why we're doing this. I mean,
even though she didn't shoot a bird, she still had a great time.
Absolutely.
A great time. And that's a once in a lifetime, chance right there when you're young. I mean, I'm sure because Nancy's an avid turkey hunter, or used to be, that they'll have them out in the woods turkey hunting soon.
So it kind of wet her whistle, I'm sure, and gave her a little more incentive to train and maybe get out there in the range a little bit more and all that stuff. So, and then the next day we were like, well, she had her fill of that turkey hunting situation.
She was tired. We told her we had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Which was really
come in
3 o'clock for some people, but we don't want to go there.
That was a little tough for an 8-year-old, and she was like, well, I don't know if I want to get up that early. So we decided to go ahead and invite another young kid.
Switched out hunters, yep. We switched out hunters.
Tell them about who that guy was.
So, actually, Eddie and his he hunted with his grandson that morning prior to coming to see us over there at Santa Fe River Ranch. And so we went out to grab a bite to eat. We actually dropped Eddie off to his son-in-law, Steve. And we were at dinner and kind of got a wild hair in my ear. And I was like, you know what would be cool? I was like, Stead, would you mind coming out and hunting with your pawpaw tomorrow? And he was like, yeah. You talk about getting excited.
And this is an 11-year-old kid now.
He was pumped up, and I think he had shot, I think he's killed a bird before.
Yeah, I think he said
he has a little experience. He's a little bit older too. He's 11.
He was 11.
Okay. Straight A student, really good. And part of the reason that he gets to go home with his grandfather is he has to keep good grades. So they use that as an incentive to make sure that he does what he needs to do, which is, a great thing.
He told us at supper that he tested the top of his class in his school when they took, I don't remember what test he was talking about, but He said there was like one of those main tests that they test you for.
Right.
He said he tested top in his class, which is pretty impressive.
So, with all that in mind, we get out there the next morning and it's early. It's a long day. And we had actually taken the blinds and moved them to where we saw the birds moving, because sometimes, you have to be flexible and you have to adjust things. So we adjusted our blinds down there to another area. And I mean, we just about low crawled in there in the morning. I mean, I ran into a barbed wire fence. I mean, we are walking like no lights. It's totally in the dark. Not like the way we walk in. We got tamarines and lights and
all of a sudden he gets jolted towards me. I was like, what happened? What'd you do? He goes, I hit the barbed wire fence.
I now know where that's why I walk first, so I can take care of the obstacles. So we get down there, we get all set up. I mean, these guys, it's serious. There's no lighting. I mean, we were on point. Everything was set up really, really good. Light comes up. I mean, they
gobbled. They made so much noise.
They were right behind us in the trees. I mean, they were right behind us in the trees. And, sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not so good.
I think this time it wasn't so good because they flew down and we heard them. It was almost like they landed on our blinds.
It was like the Marines or somebody flying in on helicopters or something. I mean, you can hear them. There's quite a few birds.
And we couldn't turn around because there's 3 of us in one blind.
Right.
Where I got the kid and I'm trying to film and his dad's there with him. So it's like there's 3 chairs in a blind made for one person. There's no turning around. So we'd already had everything closed up behind us so we could look out in the field. So they went the other way. I don't know if somebody spooked them, if we spooked them, or what happened, but
And then all of a sudden, birds just start pouring out around us,
yeah.
like somebody took a turkey shaker. And I kind of was I'll be quite, I mean, I know I'm the second cameraman, which is tough because there's nobody in there to keep me awake. And I was pretty tired because it was daylight savings time, so we lost another hour of sleep. And all of a sudden, I kind of peeked my eyes, and all of a sudden, there was just birds everywhere in front. I don't know how many. I don't know how. There was like 16 jakes in front of us.
No, they counted 27.
There, but the jakes, yeah, the hens too.
No, 23 said it.
With hens and jakes. So.
Oh, was it both?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So there was instantly a field of turkeys, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
And they were right next to us. I mean, we could have reached out and grabbed them.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely in
they were
range.
all over us.
So I'm looking, and all I see is nubbies. I mean, they have big red heads, but they're all nubby. So I'm like,
all jakes.
We're in trouble. So I'm waiting for any second now for Big Papa to stick his head out. And I think when those hens flew the coop the other direction, they took Mr. Big Boy with them. So we were like, okay. We got great footage, and they fooled around, and man, we had two amazing callers on either side of us, just back and forth, hand calling,
and they were answering. The gobblers were answering.
They were answering, but they just would not. They would not. There was a fence behind us, and sometimes when you're turkey hunting, a bird will get up to like a barrier. It could be a creek, could be a fence, could be a hedge, and they will not go past that. And this guys, there was more than one there. They were hung up. So we sat there and we sat there and we sat there. And finally a decision was made to let's kind of do a little spot and stalking or running and gunning or however you want to call it, shaking, baking. I mean, I don't know.
It was fun, but, this fat boy didn't like walking too much.
Not to mention another one of our cameramen had the big lens on that we had the night before, which was phenomenal for footage, but it was like carrying an M60. The thing was... It was humongous. So I'm carrying this this giant thing, and we got all our stuff, and now if it had been 2 or 3 hunters, that could have been successful. The convoy of people, it didn't work out so well for us. But that's the way.
We thought we did good at one point, though.
Nah, we heard some birds. We almost got them come in. We saw deer. We saw all kind of stuff, but it just didn't work out. So we went down back to the house. We had lunch, or actually we had breakfast at that point, and which was another amazing meal there at Santa Fe River Ranch. And lo and behold, Stead had to get back to Alabama to go to school because they drove down from Alabama. He had school, and the decision was made they needed to get on the road. So I was like, okay. And like in half a second later, Danny says, or the bird dog says to me, is it okay if Hayden comes? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, it was like a split second, and that was our third hunter, which is your grandson, right?
Yep.
So we went to Lake City.
We had to drive all the way to Lake City to pick him up. He didn't have any clothes.
He pretty much made his own stuff on his way there.
He was at his dad's house, and so we picked him up. We got permission to take him. We picked him up, and we had, I don't know, he had a big old shirt on, but it wasn't his. Whose shirt did we put on?
I think we put on one of my shirts.
Okay. Well, if it would have been mine, then he would have been swimming in it.
We'd have been covering up the tent.
But, we're in a blind anyway, so all we had to do was cover up his face and put a little camo on him. So we gave him a shirt, gave him a mask, and we headed out there. And boy,
we're good to go. And he has a little bit of hunting experience, obviously, or shooting experience.
He hasn't done a whole lot of hunting, but he and I have shot the 22s a lot, out here on my land. So we've done a lot of shooting. In fact, he wanted to shoot up some of my squirrels, and I was like, well, we can shoot them, but you're gonna clean them and we're gonna eat them.
Yeah.
He's like, eat them. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna eat them. That's when he was a little younger.
Yeah, that's the whole message about conservation too. We make sure when we teach our kids, whatever we're gonna harvest, we're gonna clean it and we're gonna eat it. So I mean, that's a great lesson for sure for anybody that wants to go out into the woods and do their hunting and take their responsibility and accountability for harvesting your own grass-fed food, whatnot. So I have to tell you, I had this fantasy that there was going to be a nap somewhere in this day. And of course, it didn't happen. So we got Hayden back there. And again, I'm in the other tent now. Now, Bird Dog and Hayden are in the other tent. And Jake is outside of us. Eddie and them had taken off. And Jake's doing a phenomenal job calling, and he has this turkey decoy that actually with a fan moving, and I mean it was amazing. It was moving, everything was going good, and we're there probably an hour, and next
we
thing
had
you
the
hear,
Jakes come in first.
no,
Yeah, we had 3 Jakes come in.
no,
Yeah,
not in the afternoon.
man, I'm
No,
losing my mind.
there
I
was
thought we
there
had
was
3
no,
Jakes
no,
come in.
that was in the morning. That was the morning part.
Yeah, but
Nothing in the afternoon. The only thing in the afternoon was
just that guy.
that one. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
He's gonna edit this later, so he's gonna see all that footage.
I'm not gonna change anything.
no, he's gonna edit. He's doing the editing for the actual film of the hunt,
Oh yeah.
and he'll be like, "Oh, for once,
Yeah.
Frank's right." So
No, Sergeant Frank's always right.
yeah, right. So anyway, so we hear this gobbler, and we got all perked up, and I got perked up, and I got my camera. I'm trained on the decoy that's moving, right? So I'm like, because I got the lens. I could almost kill the turkey with my lens. It's sticking out that far, which was great footage. So
Well, he says it's great footage. I've seen it.
that's awesome.
It's
It's really
a little
awesome.
blurry. So was mine.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I mean,
Not
it's
all
still
of it.
gonna be good enough to put in there because we got to put something in there.
There's a lot of footage.
No, there's a lot of footage, but I'm talking the actual gobbler. This gobbler.
Oh, you gotta say
let me
it.
tell this story. So we're hearing him for a good 10 minutes behind us. We heard him a long way off. Then he's coming closer, and you could tell he's getting closer. When he got there, Jake, who was on the ground next to us, he says, I got eyes on him. So he tells me he sees him. And then all of a sudden he won't come out. We're like, what the heck? And then out of nowhere, he's like, he's coming out. He comes out, and as soon as I put my eyes, now I've positioned Hayden to shoot to the right because he was coming out from our right. So we were facing forward, and I wanted him to get him before he got there to the decoy because we didn't want the gobbler tearing up the decoy. Now Jake has this decoy. It looks like a real bird, and he has a little string, like a fishing line that he sets it out and he brings it all the way back with him, and he pulls it, and the fan goes up and down. So
Oh, that's cool.
it's really, really cool. So this gobbler comes out, and I got Hayden set up, and he makes a beeline for this for the decoy. And I mean, before we know it, the gobbler's on the decoy, and he's just whacking it. I mean, he goes straight to it, doesn't say anything, doesn't gobble, yell, nothing. He just goes over and starts spurring it. So Hayden's trying to get it. He's in there, and I'm like, Hayden, turn the gun. He's trying to move the gun over, and we've got it on. What's that thing called?
Like a bipod.
We have like a bipod there.
Yeah, Caldwell bipod.
That assists the young ones, with steadying the gun and everything. So even though he's proficient with the gun, he never really shot a shotgun. So anyway, he's trying to move it, and the gun was sticking out of the blind maybe a couple inches. So when he went to move it, right in the corner, he hits the strap that was up and down, and he's like, I can't get it over, and he's trying to mess with it, and the gobbler's over there, pop, pop, beating up.
Oh, man.
I mean, he is just tearing this guy up. Now I'm feeling bad because Jake's decoy is getting destroyed. So finally, I was like, just pick the gun up and shoot him. So he takes her right out the bipod, and boom, and he nails this sucker. And it was just when you see the antics going on inside, because I got all that on film.
Oh, great.
You're gonna laugh. It was pretty awesome. But I was so proud of him. One shot took him down, and he got himself a very nice bird. That thing had 11. That thing had a beard longer than mine.
Yes, because we measured it and compared them.
Yeah,
so.
we did. We took a picture too.
So the part that you can't see because I'm filming on the other side is I was so tired and driving and all that stuff. So as the bird's coming and I got the camera trained on there, I kind of dozed off a little bit, even though I'm looking straight ahead. So the next thing I heard was just that thump, and then that kind of startled me because I didn't know what was going on, and you couldn't tell what was the real turkey and what was the decoy because they were like together. So I'm like, what? And then I'm like, why are they shooting? Because that's the next thing. I'm like, well, why aren't they shooting? And before I could even react to that, boom, the gun went off and turkey went down. I was like, oh.
Funny thing is, Jake's sitting
Man.
next to us, like I said, on the ground. And he can hear me talking to Hayden. I'm like, Hayden, don't shoot him yet. Don't shoot the decoy. Don't shoot him yet. And Jake's like, go ahead, just shoot him. Okay, shoot him. He didn't want to lose it, but I don't think that sucker would have went anywhere. He was mad.
It was amazing. And it was funny because in that morning we were talking about how when they're hot, on that decoy that they don't care about what's going on. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. He was hot on the decoy, and it was a male. He was in a fight. You know,
Yeah, we could have done just about anything and made noise. I don't think he would have.
I don't think he would have cared. So I mean, that was absolutely amazing, and we were really excited. We were able to take 3 kids. They all had different experiences, all great experiences, and then with Hayden pulling it off, and that final hunt and taking that bird was just the icing on the cake. It was all a great experience. I think all those kids would agree it was a great experience. And you know, it's not always about killing a bird, you know, or killing a deer or whatever it is you're hunting. Sometimes the experience and the bonding and that gave, you know, all 3 of those kids just amazing times.
Speaking of bonding, I'll have footage of this too. I caught Stead and his dad Steve holding hands a few times, and they you could tell they were really, really enjoying it. It was awesome.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You can't, you know, a lot of times our society, parents don't get that kind of time. So the fact that they could do that together and we could help bring that together, I think was really cool for us being part of that. So here at Adopt a Cop USA, the Outdoor Crusaders, you know, we're all about family. We're all about bringing people together, and you know, it's not just the families we want to bring together, but our whole entire country. And hunting can do that, fishing can do that, and just getting, you know, disconnecting from the world and reconnecting with the people that mean the world to you. That's what's important to us.
That's a great tagline, isn't it?
Who thought of it?
I like it. So if you want to see some of the action, we won't have it out for a couple months because we've got some more hunts going on. And I want to kind of combine them because it takes a lot of time to, you know, do one hunt at a time.
No, we're going to do just this one hunt.
He says we.
Right, my whole team's working on it.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll keep you updated, but you can go to our YouTube channels where we put all our videos. We have quite a few videos on there already. We got Sergeant Frank shows, we got Chief Brody shows, we got fishing shows, hunting shows. What else we got? We got tons of stuff.
We got PSAs on there,
yeah,
which is the Chief Brody shows.
But our YouTube channel is Adopt a Cop USA official site. Make sure you use the official site because there's a lot of impersonators out there.
That's a nice word. And then there's I think we said the Outdoor Crusaders, Sergeant Frank show, Chief Brody show.
Yeah, I sub-labeled all of them in there.
Yeah, so I mean, when you go to it, just check it out. If there's anything you want us to add, or if you'd like us to see us do a particular show, let us know, or a PSA that you think's important. We got another one of those coming out too that you're really going to enjoy, and it's somewhat related to this show, but I don't want to give too much away. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we got for today. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you like and share us, please let your friends know, because that's the only way we can keep doing what we're doing. We need your support. If you want to make a donation, get into one of our raffle programs. I mean, it's a great way to help out our program. Become a member, and that can really help us move things forward.
We really need members. If we can get members, that would be awesome. The only way the way to sign up for that is to go to our website, and that's www.myaacusa.org. That's myaacusa.org. That stands for my, as in mine, adoptacopusa.org.
That's right. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys. Wait, what was the thing we said before?
I don't know.
It was pretty cool.
See, we had something going on.
No, I already remember. I do remember.
All right, let's do it.
Kids, mind your manners. Mom and dads, do what you got to do, because in this world, everything is possible. Do that again?
Yeah, we messed that up. Let's do it again.
So kids, mind your manners. Adults, do everything you're supposed to do. And together, everything is possible.